Welcome everybody. This is Bart Sharp, and welcome to this class, Having Strength in Uncertain Times. Because I just look at my attitude to right now in this world is I am going to be great no matter what happens with this. And I don't have any reason or logic of why that's true. Where this comes from is something inside of myself that feels the power of myself. And I think that is the most trustable reality that I have. And when you look on the more of the spiritual aspects of living, we are guided to trust our gut, trust your heart, trust something greater than you that is inside of you. Trust something greater than you that is inside of you. And so today's class is going to be a lot about activations and meditations and opening this energy. And as we do this, I'll be doing clearings as well. It's almost like as we bring and expand in energy, things will just kind of show up. And I have no idea what's going to show up. I have ideas, but I really don't know. And we're just going to explore from that point. So it brings up the idea of belief. And where does belief come from? Some people may say, well, that's a very intellectual concept. You hear something and it sounds right to you, therefore you believe it. But I also want to take that to a deeper level, in that belief is something that you resonate with your own vibration. And this is a time in history where finding out where the actual truth is very difficult. We have all of these propagandas, conspiracy theories, and honest people out there, honest news and not so honest news. And it's really hard to tell the difference, and how do we sort through this? Do we balance all the facts and figures that are continually changing and hear other people's arguments? And I believe that where we find our own truths is very parallel to the vibrations we vibrate as. So if we vibrate at a very high vibration where we are in a state of a higher self-love and we're not afraid of our own fears, we're going to look at somebody that's speaking a lot of fear-based messages, and it's going to feel uncomfortable to us, almost nauseating. And whatever they say, it just won't feel true. We'll probably be saying something to ourselves like, there has to be something better than this. In fact, you can make it feel true and hope it'll be true. It's kind of like me finding people to rent my house when I leave. I really want somebody to come in, and I want it so badly that I believe them when they're telling me a lie, because I want it to be so. And part of this is being in your vibration and being totally neutral to any outcome. In other words, being totally curious to what they're saying. And that's how you create that objectivity to it. how does this relate to our own health, our own well-being in our body? Of course, if we are not trying to figure things out and we're afraid we're going to have the wrong answer, and we're afraid that bad things are going to happen to us because we don't know enough information in these uncertain times, we are going to spend a lot of anxiety, and in that anxiety and fear and probably anger, we will attract things to us that are detrimental to our health. That's how the law of attraction works. Newton's third law. To every reaction, there's an equal and opposite reaction. This is how all of this stuff works. So the world runs on polarities, or the unconscious world runs on polarities, just like what I said. And therefore, we have to realize what we're polarized to. Okay. All right, so that's kind of the spiel here today. So from now on, I'm going to start doing some activations. And so this may be a time that you just close your eyes and meditate. It's better than looking at me, that's for sure. I've never taken the video of how to look better on Zoom, you know, in lighting and positioning and stuff. So, and I just barely combed my hair this morning. So it's better to just close your eyes and just take this as a guided meditation. And hopefully we're going to build chi. I'm going to be using some activations where I say, I invite the infinite intensity of consciousness of a specific energy. And then I'll ask it to activate a billion times a billion times a billion times a billion times a billion. Whenever you feel the billion times a billion, or wherever you hear it, excuse me, tune into your body and visualize just the expansion of the cells itself to this energy. So if we are asking to connect to the generative capacities of the earth, feel a grounding energy or visualize a grounding energy just expanding into your body. And that it just open up into that space. So you're literally changing cell by cell by cell by molecules to a lighter, higher vibration. And the good thing about this particular class is that this is a really great one to record, as I'll have a recording of this, and play it again and again and again. So with that said, let's start activating. I invite the infinite intensity of consciousness of the chi of exuberant vitality to activate a billion times 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 a billion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So if I was really to encapsulate what is the energy that creates a strength in us that applies to all aspects of our life, whether it be power, money, sexual energy, vitality, creativity, the chi of exuberant vitality seems to have a nice general encapsulation of that. So let's activate it again and just pay attention to your second chakra, to the vibration there. So I invite the infinite intensity of consciousness of the chi of exuberant vitality to activate And just pay attention to your second chakra. We multiply that a billion times 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 a billion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all night, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And so think of all of the people in the world that have this great talent to be highly grounded into their second chakra. And I think of like the Tibetan monks. These guys are doing all of these great breathing exercises and bringing it into the second chakra and building such a tremendous chi or life essence into their body that they're just enormous powers. And of course, they take that chi and send it out through the world to create a greater peace, create a greater consciousness. So I would like to connect to the energy, space, and consciousness of the Tibetan monks. And we ask that their energies and presence be here and connect to all of us. And just, I'm sure you know what a Tibetan monk is, those guys in those wonderful red robes and golden clothing. And just visualize one in front of you and ask your body, can I get what they feel like? Can my body duplicate that energy? When you have that much chi inside of you, you have such strength and power. It's really difficult to be the victim of a disease if you're in that type of strength and power. So I invite the infinite intensity of consciousness of the generative capacities of these Tibetan monks to activate in all of us a billion times 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 a billion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And then I'm going to do a clearing right here. I'm just going to start throwing in clearings. It might be a little confusing. Every place that you are that's outside of your body, that you're going into future pretense, past pretense of things you got to do, things you should have done, things that you're at, but you're not really there because you're here instead. All of the energies you're in those places, all that you've aligned and agreed with and resisted and reacted to those energies, will you please destroy and uncreate them all totally and utterly. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what is the infinite intensity of consciousness of you being totally present right here, right now? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So I want you to take your attention into your body down at the perineum. In other words, there's this place there between your genitals and your anus. And this is where a lot of life force enters into your body. In other words, it enters there and goes up your chakras, so to speak. And so how many blockages do we have there of joylessness? Could be joyless sex. It could be abuse. It could be extreme dissatisfaction and frustration. The frustration that you know that you're great, but yet you're very far away from it, or it seems to be. You've had a lot of judgments that you're very far away from your greatness. All of that joylessness in there, all the specific implants, all the trifield sequencing systems, shock trauma systems, vibrational wavelength systems, holding those traumas, dissatisfactions, anger, inverted anger in place, and all the Shiku implants, Mobius strips, quantum particles, light particles holding that in place. Will you please destroy and uncreate that totally and utterly? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. and all the feelings you've had that you never want to forget the pain. You never want to forget the suffering of those dissatisfactions. Would you claim to your body that you can remember that you need to work on those lessons? However, you do no longer have to hold the suffering of that. Would you just claim on and acknowledge that to yourself? You no longer have to hold the suffering there. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, on eggs, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And all the suffering you have of others that you're holding there. And like, this is like real root issues. That's why it's so much about sexual energy and stuff, because sexual energy is one of our primary functions or goals in life, is to procreate. That's like, you know, one of the primary goals, number one maybe, besides living and breathing. We need to procreate the species. We're designed that way. So a lot of times we are holding this energy. It's very important to us, and we are connecting it with other people. In other words, we feel other people's suffering, and we hold it there in a real basic way. So all the people's energies we're holding there, all the ways, means, methods, modalities, forms, structures, significances that it's built there and held there, and all the kind of reads as sadness is really connecting with that. It's like a sadness with it. Would you be willing to let all of that go? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, on eggs, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And would you allow joyfulness to come into your body, regardless of what problems you have, what shortcomings you have, what talents you have to connecting with other people that seems to be overwhelming for some people? You can still have joy. So would you claim on and acknowledge you can have joy regardless of all the other energies inside of you and around you? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, on eggs, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So that were clearings about opening up the perineum. So let's stream it in. Let's activate the sexual energy of the earth. You know, the most sexual being on the planet is the planet itself. It's creating so many life forms, so many places. And so it's a great resource to say, I want to connect to that energy because I want to have that type of vitality. You know, everything in our mind, our ego functioning separates us from the earth, and all of this godlike energy that is, you know, to our access. It's almost like retraining our strength to be connected with the earth and other natural things such as nature, powers within the earth, realities that are connected to the earth. All of that is part of our great power source. So let's bring that in now that we open it up. So just visualize while I'm doing this one, energy flowing up through your perineum, energy going into your sexual organs, and just flowing up into you. So first things first, visualize energy from the earth coming up into you. And this is, you know, if you, in the quote from the movie Field of Dreams, if you see it, it will come. If you visualize it, you will start to train your body to have that energy. So visualize an energy coming up deep within the earth, and you don't have to see what the source is. You can even connect it to the center of the earth where all of that magma and volcanic activity originates, wherever, but allow it to start coming up, flowing into your perineum, through your perineum, and just filling that whole lower area up with energy. So I invite the infinite intensity of consciousness the sexual energies of the earth to activate a billion times 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 a godzillion to the godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine shorts, voids, and beyonds. Now, I want it to resonate with our own sexual energy. I invite the infinite intensity of consciousness of the generative, of our generative sexual, let me start over that. I invite the infinite intensity of consciousness of the generative capacities of our sexual energies to activate a billion times 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 a billion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So we allow this strength to come into you. And everything that you believe that the strength inside of you begins and ends in your mind, would you be willing to let that go? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So we allow the intuitive abilities of your own vitality, of your own connection with something bigger than you, to be a source of your awareness. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So in Europe, I keep seeing all of these places that are connected to deep sources within the earth. And one of the places that seems to be connected to is a reality called the inner sun. I believe that there's a lot of realities within the earth that are connected to the cosmos, that are great energies. And accessing these is really important to building a great chi. Which brings us back to this first activation. I invite the infinite intensity consciousness of the chi of exuberant vitality to activate a billion times 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 a billion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine shorts, voids, and beyonds. And I invite the infinite intensity of consciousness of the inner sun, the chi of the earth, presence of Gaia, to activate within us a billion times 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 a godzillion to the godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And all the white light from the earth of this highest vibration, as a friend of mine calls it, the sisters of the white cauldron. It's a feminine energy that is nothing but white light. Can we allow this to come into our womb? And we multiply this a billion times 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 a billion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So see this dynamic energy in your womb. If you're guys, and there's so many guys here today, I'm so happy to, about that. You have a womb there. It's kind of like a big volleyball right between your hips, and just fill this energy up. Visualize all of this energy there. And every place in your body that needs this energy, that's weak, can it go there? Can it go to your livers? Can it go to your kidneys? Can it go to any other place that it's needed? And just continue to keep your focus on energy coming into your body. And it's almost like as it's entering your body, you are learning what this vibration is. And it's becoming you. Your cells are changing into this energy. So all of this white light, this inner sun, sexual energy of the earth, in your own generative capacities of sexual energies, may it expand 1 1,000-fold, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pod, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And just feel that energy and check in with the bottoms of your feet. Feel the bottoms of your feet, how more grounded it is. And can you allow this energy to connect with all the acupuncture points there? And can you allow this white light to go into these acupuncture points that's coming up from the earth and start activating all of these acupuncture points? So just visualize not only the white light energy or the inner sun energy, the earth energy, not only going into your perineum, but also into the soles of your feet. And it's just stimulating all of these acupuncture points down there, or reflexology points, as they say. And that it's stimulating your kidneys, your liver, your colon, spleen, your endocrine system, your glandular systems to activate. In particular, one particular gland, your thyroids. May all of this ancient knowledge that you have that is connected to the earth be activated. And the thyroid's in the throat. You know, when we think about the throat, we think about communication, but also it's an intuition of the real knowledge of who you are. In other words, having access to real knowledge, being able to see the truth as it is, and being able to function at that higher vibration. And everything that is, we ask it to expand 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, on, A, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And everything that you feel overwhelmed by other people's energies, other projects, other things in your past that have extended into the future pretense, all that you're aligned and agreed with and resisted and reacted to those energies, will you please destroy it and quit that totally and utterly? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, on, 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what would it take for you to be totally present here and now? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, on, 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. So just feel how much more energy you have right now. So we ask the infinite intensity of consciousness of all the people on the planet that vibrate like this and that vibrate even at higher vibrations. We ask to connect with all of these people and bring those energies into us. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And we also ask for presences of gods and goddesses to come in and be with our presence. And one that keeps coming up is Shakti and Shiva. We ask the presence of Shakti and Shiva to be here. We multiply that energy 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. We ask for the energies of Isis and Osiris to be with us. We multiply that 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. We ask the presence of Kuan Yin and Lasu to be with us. We multiply that 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, on, 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. We ask the presence of Jesus, or Master Yeshua, and Mary Magdalene to be with us. We multiply that 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000 times 1,000,000,000. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, on, 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And we ask the presence of the Buddha to be with us. A billion times 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 a billion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So think of Buddha under his great tree and the reality that he and this tree shared. And the tree was grounded deeply into the earth and had a consciousness that went all throughout the earth. And Buddha learned this. So that expansion of consciousness that goes through all parts of the earth, would you just claim on and acknowledge to yourself you had those talents as well? And what would it feel like for you to be aware of those talents and abilities? Can you allow your body to expand into that reality? We multiply that a billion times 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 a billion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Think of that strength of the Buddha, of that tree, of how he held the groundedness and vitality and generative capacities of sexual energies that was so strong that it stretched throughout realities, throughout the planet, connecting with all people, that he held this strength. What does that feel like in your body? Can you allow yourself to have that strength? And you're looking for a visceral sensation. What does a strength like that feel like in you? We multiply that a billion times 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 a billion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And if that concept really fascinates you, I suggest you go out into the forest and find a really powerful tree, a big one, and you sit under it and you ask to expand into reality of what that tree is. And that can be a really good teacher for you if you like this energy right now. What does the energy of being totally present in your body feel like? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And just for now, are we all willing to receive the best of us in this reality? And we ask that to expand a billion times 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 a billion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And just keep checking in with your body. Feel the bottoms of your feet and feel those reflexology points. And then feel how they are affecting your liver and kidneys and various other internal organs and systems and glands. See how all of that resonates together. Go back into your second chakra, your perineum. Feel all of what this is. Now, and feel how joyful it feels. This feels good. It should feel good. Anytime you get connected with your second chakra, happiness, a very satisfying visceral energy is occurring. And it's just delightful. And so that's what you want to be tuning into as you do this. Stay in tune with this. This is strength. Strength feels good. Power feels good. It has a sexual feeling to it because you are stimulating your second chakra. So let's add another energy. I call this the super glue of consciousness, or the super glue of the universe. It is what flows through everything. It is in the higher realms of our etheric fields, and that is the universal field of love. It goes through everything. So it's a great energy. So I invite the infinite intensity of consciousness of the universal field of love to activate a billion times 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 a billion, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And can you allow the universal field of love that is within you to activate and be connected to everything in your home? Can you allow that communion to be a part of your awareness? And not only the things in your home, but the people in your home. And also the people here in this class right now. Can you allow you to connect to the universal field of love that is within them? And think of where you're at now and ask to connect to the universal field of love of everybody in your community. In other words, what fields are being lived by other people in your community? Can you connect with that and allow your body to expand to that awareness? Can you allow your body to expand out to such a high consciousness and expanded consciousness? And what you do is you just ask, and in fact, we have asked, and you just feel the vibration. You don't have to work it or push it. You just ask, well, what's it like to connect to everybody in my community in the universal field of love in their community? And see how your body expands and feel what expands beyond you. So all the energies within the earth, consciousness within the earth or Gaia, what consciousness, space, and energies of the universal field of love is there, and can we connect with that? Can we allow the space in our body to expand to such an amazing degree? We multiply that a billion times 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 a billion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And just allow your consciousness to expand. What do you feel? It's almost like, think of your body as a huge container of energy. And right now, you're containing your community, you're containing the earth, and you have opened to this huge expanse of space. And would you claim on and acknowledge that this strength is you? Everything that is, we multiply it a billion times 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 a godzillion to the godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now, we're all connected to thousands, and to some people, millions of people throughout the planet. And for various reasons, people are connected to huge amounts of people. At a minimum, everybody here is connected to at least 375,000 people. Some of you, many, many more. So would you allow you to connect to the universal field of love that is vibrating in all of these people? In other words, you all have this common bond right now, that you all vibrated this highest vibration. The universal field of love is developed or it's vibrating in our highest astral fields or in our body, but also it can be directed to all parts of our body. So not only are we connecting with our own higher self, but we're connecting with our body, and we're connected to that same reality, to these thousands of millions of people that you are connected to. It's your karmic design to be connected to so many people. So we ask the infinite intensity of consciousness of that concept of the universal field of love and all of these people to connect and vibrate inside of you. Multiply that a billion times 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 a godzillion to the godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. So as you vibrate and pulse with this energy, just feel it streaming out of you with all of these people. It's a communion. It's a communion with people all throughout the world. And that you are in this oneness together with them. And energies are overwhelming. I don't like the bad stuff that they're sending out. It really makes me have a bad day. All that you've aligned and agreed with and resisted your attitude to all of those judgments and concepts, will you please destroy them, create them all totally and utterly. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Can you allow your consciousness to multiply with this universal field of love? That you can expand out into this world. And as you claim your strength, would you please send a message to these people? They can have their strength as well. Everything that is, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And just vibrate with this. We're going to hold this just 1 more minute. And feel this lightness in your body. Think of the Buddha, Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, Lasu, Isis, Osiris, Shakti, and Shiva. All of this godlike consciousness, all have realized and actualized the universal field of love. And can you allow it to vibrate in you? And connect with these thousands of millions of people that you're connected to. And what kind of strength can you create from that reality? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyond. So just hold this for about 20 more seconds. If there's any messages you want to give to your body or to these other people, it's a good time to do it. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So, I really see that one of the best ways we can deal with this time is keep spiraling up, keep growing. You know, we see the chaos in the world, the falseness, stories that seem unbelievable, and confusion of all what that is. But on the other hand, the planet is expanding and growing, or not the planet, but the people, the collective consciousness of the people is expanding at this time in a very tremendous way. It is jumping. So I can't explain why. I imagine a lot of people, Eckhart Tolle says this, that, this is an opportunity. I like to study the book Power versus Force and use that consciousness scale, and it has jumped about 10 points on that consciousness scale, which is talking about the collective consciousness of people on the planet. It's jumped from 208 to 218 on a 1,000-point scale. And this is huge. We're not going to see the results of this for a while. But what I do know is that the more I meditate and the more I do energy work, I'm contributing. And so that's why it's so important for everybody to stay in touch with your own strength and keep practicing it. Keep practicing meditations and stuff, because that's how you make a difference. It's a quiet thing. It's not a passive thing. It's not a spiritual bypass like, oh, you're not being an active participant in society, or you're actually being a very active participant in society. And by listening to this recording and meditating with it, you can learn more how to do it. If you want to learn one of these activations that we did today, I'd say give me a call and or send me an email and ask for one. But it's good to just do an activation or a couple of them and keep building energy. You want to keep building your chi. And, and if you notice, we did not do any activations that were coming from the source of the crown and bringing it in. You can do that, but when you're talking about strength, we're talking about the first three chakras. We work today on the first and second chakra because that's the source of all of this stuff. You have to have a very strong chi to have a good basis in life. Some people have that, they've been bestowed with that for various reasons. And for some of us, and I'm in this group, I had to learn how to do this. And it took a lot of work doing chi-like exercises. And it's changed my life. It's my power base. We function on the earth in the first three chakras. When we activate the generative capacities of sexual energies or the generative capacities of sexual energies of the earth, we start a real direct connection with our own chi there, and build that. The universal field of love is a higher vibration, but you can also bring that into your chi. Now, a really great exercise to do when you're just driving down the road or idle, or you want a real simple meditation, is to say Om, but you say it silently. And you place that silent Om right in the middle of your second chakra. And you just vibrate it there. You can vibrate it for, hours if you have the concentration. But you don't have to be breathing in and out to do it. You just Om, and it just vibrates, and it just holds that energy. And you learn to develop that vibration. What you're ultimately teaching yourself is the mind to be aware of all of these vibrations. In other words, your body has all of these vibrations. It has access to all of it because your body is infinite, but your mind is finite. So basically, you're practicing something that you already know, but your mind is not convinced. The exercise of connecting the universal field of love with other people is a very effective thing. I was in a restaurant before the virus hit, and I was getting horrible service. And it was weird because there was only about 3 or 4 people eating at the time. You know, why can't a full staff of people tend to my needs, you know, pretty quickly is my question. So I was, instead of yelling at them and getting all pissy, I just connected to the universal field of love of everybody in the restaurant. And all of a sudden I felt this connection with everybody. And then they all started paying attention to me, and I was getting all the service I needed. So just think of that power of what that is. If you feel like you're overwhelmed with other people's energies, connect with the universal field of love of all of these people you're connected to, and have a communion with them in a way that's positive and that you have input in. In other words, you dictate the vibration and you send it out. This is just another way to use your energy and power. So all of this is good stuff. I just say practice. It's the best thing you can do for everybody on the planet is practice to be more and to keep expanding. So I wanted to thank everybody for coming today. I am going to be beginning a vacation next Friday. And well, it'll first begin going to my sister's, but then I'm going to go to Utah for maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. I don't have a big time schedule, but I'm going to spend very much a sabbatical living in a tent in the canyon lands, in the desert areas, and I'm just real curious about what that energy is like up there. And I'll be back. I am looking to do one more class before I leave on Thursday. Of course, I'll be doing private sessions between now and then. I'm not for sure if I can do private sessions in Utah, although I will have my cell phone. It's just a matter of, will I have cell phone connection? But if anybody's kind of really needing a session, I'm sure I can work something out, but it's best to contact me by phone or leave a text message and go from there. It might be a good excuse for me to rent a hotel for the night because I have a private session scheduled. That's kind of how it's going to work for me. It's going to be an adventure. Any questions? Any comments? I thank everybody for coming today, and we'll see you soon. We'll have new adventures for the summer.
Thanks, Bart.
Thank you, Kevin. And I'll have this recorded. I'll put it up on Facebook, and then I'm going to put it on YouTube.
Cool.
So that's what I'm doing with all of these things I'm doing, or at least I have 4 or 5 of them up on YouTube right now. So they're all available for eternity, and share them. Y'all take care.
Thanks, Bart. This session was great. It was really intense.